What do you have to say about the alleged Muslim immigrant grooming gangs in Europe?
Well, to whatever extent that actually happens, which is not particularly clear, I would say that those are immigrants who have thoroughly assimilated and become true Westerners, because I can guarantee that they didn't act like that back home. And if they did, we would know how to deal with them. I mean, you're the ones who came up with the term rape culture, and you didn't make that term up about our culture, but about your own. You spread confusion and pathology in your society about masculinity, femininity, sex, sexuality, relationships, and on and on and on, not to mention violence. And again, if these people have been proven guilty, you don't deal with them the way that we do. You say it upsets you, you act outraged about it, and you use these cases for political purposes. But in the Muslim world, these kinds of crimes are severely punished. That shows who takes these kinds of things more seriously. That shows who has the moral clarity about things like this. Even with pedophiles and other types of sex criminals, you send them to jail hoping that inmates will enact justice on your behalf. You pass the buck on to violent criminals to do to them what the moral ambiguity of your laws can't do. And so that you can keep telling yourselves that you're champions of human rights and so on. All the while, secretly hoping that someone's going to shank them in prison. You literally outsource justice to convicts just to protect your tender sensibilities. Well, we don't do that. People who commit these kinds of crimes in the Sharia get what they deserve from the courts, because we're very clear on these issues. If someone violates a child or violates a woman and it's proven beyond a reasonable doubt, it's death. And that's what should happen to anyone who commits those types of crimes, including in the West, whether it's a Muslim or otherwise. And no one's saying that Muslims haven't done wrong, that Muslims haven't done bad things. Muslims do wrong. I've done wrong. But if you take the worst things that Muslims have ever done in the last 1400 years, it's not even going to be as bad as what the West did this morning or yesterday afternoon or what they're going to do tomorrow. Any wrong that a Muslim does, we can identify the what, where, how, and why it is prohibited in the religion explicitly. We can show that it's a violation of Islamic law and principles. Westerners can't do that because everyone has their own interpretation of both Christian and Enlightenment principles. There's nothing solid. They don't have a law except for secular laws, and those laws are always changing. So you were putting people in prison for decades for smoking weed, and then you decided that it's fine. So what about all those people then? Are they going to get restitution for wrongful imprisonment? Like I said before, there's no consensus in the West about right and wrong. What they think is wrong today, they'll think is right tomorrow, and vice versa. So anyone taking their moral criticism seriously is like trying to determine true north using a windmill instead of a compass.